Hello and welcome to another PE lesson with me, Mr. Latcham. And recently we've been doing stuff about stamina. Now, if we remember what stamina is, we've been doing things for a long period of time, and hopefully we've been getting really warm, our muscles have been working lots, and also we've been getting better at the skills we've done, which is football and volleyball. Now, today we are going to look at something slightly different. We're going to look at something called coordination. What you will need today, equipment, you either need a tennis ball or something similar. If you don't have anything, you can use a pair of socks which are rolled up, or you can use something which will be circular and that can move a little bit. I don't have a tennis racket, so today I am using a clipboard. If you want to use something, you can use a tennis racket, you can use a hardback book, a saucepan, baking tray, something which is quite solid, but you're able to hold on to because it's not too heavy. So, what is coordination? Coordination is being able to do movements smoothly and being able to repeat them lots and lots so we can get better at what we do. Today, we're going to be doing tennis skills with our coordination. Therefore, we're going to be looking at our hand and our eye coordination, which means when we see something, are we able to adapt what we do and catch it, hold it, or make sure that that ball or whatever you are using is nice and stable? First thing we're going to do, I would like you to put whatever you're using, I'm using my tennis ball, onto your racket. And this might seem really easy for you at the start, but I just want you to balance it on here for a little bit of time. If you get really good at it and it's not even moving at all, that means we've got really good balance. Now, next thing I want you to do is hold onto it with one hand and then start doing it with one hand. You might find after doing this for 30 seconds with one hand and then changing it to the other hand, one side is easier to do than the other. That's okay, because now we know what we've got: a stronger hand and potentially slightly weaker hand. But so this is the easy start. We're engaging our minds in this and we're making sure we are keeping this ball onto the racket. Next challenge. I would like you to try and spell your name by moving the ball or the pair of socks that you're using, and try and spell your name letter by letter by moving the ball. So if it was me, I'd be writing Latcham, says L, and then A, there's a T, there's a C, there's a H. That didn't go as well, so I'm going to repeat that one. H, there's an A, and there's an M. And as you can see, the ball didn't leave my racket. But if it did fall off, if for some reason I was doing my T and it fell off here, I'd pick it up, put it back on, and try and repeat that letter. To make it harder, only use one hand to try and spell your name. To make it even harder, try and spell your surname as well. So we need to do a little bit of a warm-up while doing our coordination work. So now I'd like you to start walking around and keeping track of this. You can walk forwards, you can walk backwards, you can move side to side, you can even try running around and making sure the ball doesn't leave the surface. To make it easier, have a nice tight grip. Try not to angle your racket downwards or upwards. Try and have it as flat as possible. And keep your arm slightly closer to you, because if it's out here, it's going to be a lot harder because it's really far away from you. So start moving around, keeping it on side. If you have your weaker side, then change to that hand as well, and we'll carry on doing this. Next part of our warm-up, we're going to use a slight agility course to try and make sure that our heart rate is up and more blood is going around to our major muscles. What I'd like you to do is start at the first cone, and we're going to walk in and out of all of them, and we're going to do that 3 times and see how fast we can do it by just walking. I'll demonstrate this one, and then after that I won't do any more demonstrations. You can pause the video and repeat what I do. So, first one, go, walk through, in, out, turn around, round here, and back. So, if we're going to do that when we're running, it's exactly the same, but we're going to be moving our legs faster, our arms faster, and hopefully we go lower when we go round the corners. But today's lesson is about coordination. So we're going to do exactly the same thing after you've done your warm-up, but using your racket and your ball. And we're going to try and go through this agility course. Key point on this one. If the ball falls off, go back to where it fell off, start again from there, and you might need to slow down just a little bit. Do the first one nice and slowly. Get used to moving in and out, and then do the next one a bit faster until we maybe are at running speed. How this will look is like this. I'm going to use one hand because I feel quite confident doing it. However, if you don't, use 2 hands and then try and use one hand by the end. We ready? Go. Nearly fell off there. However, the ball stayed on my racket for the whole time. If I wanted to go faster, I will give it a go, and I'll try and run through it as fast as I can. Go! Can you see if you can go faster than me doing that? At one point, the ball nearly went to the edge here, because I realised my racket was slightly angled like this. So I quickly had to twist it, but I didn't go and throw it really hard. I did a tiny movement like this to make it flat again, and it managed to stay on my racket. Carry that on, and that will be the end of our coordination warm-up. After this, we've got loads of little challenges where I'm going to pause the video, show you the challenge, you'll repeat it, and hopefully we're going to have about 5 challenges that you should be able to complete. The first challenge we're going to do to look at our hand-eye coordination is to throw and trap. Now there's 2 ways to do this. If you're using a tennis ball, you can start off by throwing it up, letting it bounce, and trapping it between your racket and your hand. So you almost catch it. So you throw it up, bounce, and trap. That's your low-level ability. If you want to make it harder, or you don't have something that will bounce, then your next level is to throw it up and catch it like this. That involves more hand-eye coordination, because we have to look at the ball throughout the whole time when it's in the air, and we have to be able to move our hands to catch it. Practice that for about a minute on each of them, see which one you'd prefer to do, and then we will do a 30-second challenge. We're going to pause the video here. Hopefully you paused your video and now we're ready to do our challenge. First thing I would like us to do, I am going to do the bounce and catch challenge for 30 seconds. So when you're ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hopefully, you have managed to beat my score there. And if not, hopefully, when you try it again, you can try and beat your score. Things to make your score better, make sure you're moving your feet. If you saw me, I always did a couple of steps, because I didn't want to be catching the ball here. I didn't want to be catching it right out here. I wanted it to be, so I just had a slight bend in my arms. Ball went up, I'm watching it with my eyes, and my hand-eye coordination's really good. So give that another go, do another 30 seconds on that one. Pause the video now if you're going to do that. If not, I'm going to show you the next challenge, which is to throw it up and catch it without a bounce. So, first thing you're going to do, you're going to throw the ball in the air, and then you're going to catch it in between. Again, you have less time on this one, so you need to make sure you watch that ball for the whole time, you're moving your feet, and you catch it in between. We ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and stop there. Hopefully, again, you've managed to beat me, but if you were throwing the ball really low like this, next time you do it, I would like you see if you can throw the ball higher and catch it. But when we throw the ball high, don't throw it behind us, just throw it up, and our arms shouldn't go over our head, so we should just be able to throw it up there and catch it. That is challenge 1 with a bounce, challenge 2 without a bounce. And now if you want to pause it to do that, feel free. I'm going to show you our next challenge. Lots of us will have done this challenge before in different sports. It's the keepy uppies challenge. But this time, with tennis, we're going to see how many we can do hitting it in the air. We will start where we are stood still, and we're trying to do it like this with very small movement with our legs. Then we will extend it, and we'll try and do it through our agility course. First thing I would say we need to do, nice tight grip on your racket, but make sure when it contacts, you don't squeeze your hand. It's just a little firm grip, and we're able to keep it up and down. Always keep an eye on the ball and move your hand. If the ball goes slightly this way, you move your hand that way. That means our coordination will get a lot better. So when you're ready, find a little bit of space. We don't need to hit the ball much higher than if it goes over your head, you've hit it too high. We ready? And we 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 32, 33, 37, 38, 39, 40. Stop. So I've stopped you just slightly short. If you manage to do it for 30 seconds, make sure you have your timer. But I did about 40 in that 30-second time. Key points. If you are twisting your racket, if you are making it face downwards, upwards, the ball's not going to go up and down. The flatter we have it, the much better we do it. I never took my eye off the ball. I never looked up, down. I just had my eye on the ball and I changed where my arm was. Really make that your focus. To make that more difficult, we are going to put it into a little bit of a relay. So you know the agility course we did as a warm-up? Set that up again, and I want to see how many we can do. Actually, I'm going to change that. Rather than how many we can do, we're going to do how long does it take you to go up and down the agility course 5 times. So when you're ready, we're still doing our tap-ups, and we're going to try and go up and down 5 times. Ready? Go. Hopefully we did those agility courses really well. If we do need to repeat it, just keep trying it. Keep practicing how we can keep that hand-eye coordination really good. You might want to go slowly, you might want to go fast. Now, a final challenge we are going to do, some call it fish and chips. It's all about flipping your racket and keeping that ball in the air. So normally we do our tap-ups, keeping ups like this. But this time, we're going to be improving our hand-eye coordination and moving our hand over like this so it hits each side every bounce. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Things that will make this easier. Nice, strong grip on your racket. It might be harder to do it with two hands because obviously we have to make sure we throw the ball, catch it, go like this. So nice, strong grip. Don't do it with a nice straight arm. Have a slight bend in it. And we're going to go up, over, and we're going to see how many we can do. We're going to have 30 seconds on this challenge. And hopefully, when you do it twice, you can beat your first score. So when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm always looking at the ball. My eyes are always there. I'm moving my body if it goes wrong. And we've got into our last 5 seconds. And stop there. So, key points there. My knees were bent for the whole time. My legs are straight. If it goes somewhere different, I can't move quickly to go and change it. So I've got my knees bent. My arm never went out here, and when it did adjust, I twisted my body, I moved my feet, and I made sure that ball stayed up there. Those eagle-eyed watching that might have seen at one point I did a couple in a row on one side. That's because I was losing control of it, and I didn't think I could twist it at the same time. So I did that and then got back into my rhythm. That is okay. If you want to be really, really picky with your scoring, just discount the one that you did twice. That is the last of our challenges there. However, there might be an extension video shown on how we can do an official coordination test. And I'd hope you'd all give that one a try. Thank you for listening. Remember, what were we doing today? We were thinking about coordination. We were doing it for a long period of time as well, so we added our stamina in, and we did a bit of balance. Coordination, what is it? Smooth movements that we can repeat over time. And also, we were looking at our hand-eye coordination, which is really good because it makes us better at most sports like tennis, racket sports, football, netball, our throwing and catching, and even our running, swimming, and our individual sports. So coordination should always be practiced. If you think of any ideas that you can improve what I've done, give it a go. And if you think it's really good, record yourself doing it.